I like this album a lot. Number 6 over Tyler the Creator, over Miley Cyrus.
Oh, yeah, that is probably one of the People's Choice albums. Good afternoon, beautiful people. This is another episode of Album Mode. We review a new album every single week. We look at the lyrics, the production, the overall aesthetic of the album, and how that album fits into the context of that artist's career. For everyone watching on YouTube, we appreciate you. We thank you. Smash that like button, subscribe to us, and leave us a comment. Let us know how wrong we always are. My name is Adriel Smiley, aka AdrielSmiley.com, aka Adriel Smiley Official, aka Champion Scribe. We are here with His Royal Highness, aka the Bunny, aka No Longer a Munch, aka Green Goblin, King Grant.
Welcome back, people. Album Mode, one of my favorite episodes that we do. Top 10. End of the year. We're talking about top 10s. The top 10? My top 10? Your top 10? Uh, I think this year was a year where everybody ate. If you're an electronic fan, there was some food for you. Hip hop, there's always food. R&B, it's great. Love some pop music, a little country. Everybody was eating. And thus, I think that the top 10s are going to be very diverse this year, not just between me and you, but just everybody. I think that a lot of people are going to be looking at different projects. There are some projects that I know are on some other people's lists that didn't even touch mine, didn't even really get a consideration. And I know that I have some on mine that are definitely not on yours. So
Yep.
I'm looking forward to this top 10. Adriel, how are you feeling about this year? Give me a light. How do you feel about this year in music? Just a light, just like a little bit.
I think this is one of those years that's going to be underrated going forward. Like when we look back at 2025, we're going to say, that came out 2025? Because we didn't have the biggest albums. I think commercially, great year for some, not for as many, but we have some of the biggest albums in the world. I'm going to spoil it for you, probably not on our top 10.
Ooh.
Um, but I do think that we got a lot of good quality music. So maybe not the biggest commercial years for some of these artists, but the quality was there for a lot of these artists. This might be my most concentrated top 10, I think. This is probably one of the least diverse top 10s I've
Oh,
ever put together.
okay.
It just kind of happened that way. Now, when you guys hear the top 10, maybe you'll think differently. But for my taste, one of the least diverse top 10s I've ever had. And the honorable mention list is its own top 10.
Yeah,
Like
it's
that's how
extensive.
good this year was in music, where you could make a top 10 just with honorable mentions. We'll get to that at the end, but I'm excited for this. Again, in the comments, let us know what you think. If we say an album that you love, hop in the comments, let us know your favorite song, what you rate that album. And I think this is going to be a year for me, at least, where a lot of albums on this list that we did not review. This is
Mm,
maybe probably some of the most of, I think, of any list we've done, a top 10 of albums that I loved that we did not review. I think you should start first.
okay.
I'm interested to see where you're going with this. I know you have some stuff on your list that either people haven't even heard before. I don't have on my list at all. Let's hear what you got at number 10.
Okay, so number 10 for me, super simple. I think that I actually don't even think it's on your list because I remember when we reviewed this, you were down on it. Don't Tap the Glass by Tyler the Creator. That's my number 10, guys. I think Tyler the Creator, I would say that this is it's still amazing. The song Don't Tap That Glass, Don't Stop Playing With Me. Those are great songs. Lots of eccentricities of Tyler the Creator's music. It's very disorganized, but disorganized fun. I think that this album is probably the least best of the new era. Adriel, do you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. You were frozen for a second. Yeah. I would say that this is the least best of the new era or the new whatever iteration of Tyler the Creator, where it's more pop influence. This one is more dance, a lot more dance, and it has tilted into a section where he almost kind of abandoned the singing and he was going for more rapping, but the production style was more old school LA, which is house, dance. I forgot the other genre of music that was really hot back then before hip hop arrived there, but it's in that sphere. So it's really interesting to see something like Sucker Free, like a fun, they got the talk box in it, again, which is old school LA. So lots of old school LA, but not Death Row LA. We're talking about pre Tupac,
Definitely not.
basically pre hip hop LA is what he is referring to, and that's the type of production that he's bouncing off of. So number 10, Don't Tap the Glass. One of the albums that I was kind of surprised that it came out because I think it's like a year right after Chromacopia, which is ahead of schedule for him. But top 10, he's made the top 10. Top 10 is nice. I don't even know if Chromacopia made the top 10 last time.
I don't think it did for you. It might have been in the bottom of my top 10. I did not even consider this album.
See, I told
This
you.
is an album that came and went for me. You're absolutely correct. You hit it right on the head. I want to know who's still listening to this album. In the comments, let me know. Are we still listening to this album, or is this one of those ones where the spectacle is the most fun part of this? Because I think that's a lot of music these days, is we just enjoy the spectacle of it. We like the online discourse. We love seeing our favorite artists get some love. So this one was not in my top 10. My number 10 was one that I was surprised to even have it in here. It's an album that people were talking about a lot. I did not think that it would be something that I was into, even though I really like this artist. I had forgot about them for several years. And this one came out recently, October 24th, 2025. And that one is Lily Allen, West End Girl. I thought the talk of this album was very surprising to me. I was like, Lily
Wait,
Allen is
what?
back? Then I heard the album and I said, you know what? Understood. I completely get it. So if you haven't heard this album, it is a one of a kind sonic experience. I suggest you go listen to it. Two of my favorites, Relapse and Pussy Palace. Um, yeah, great project. So Lily Allen, that's my number 10 West End Girl.
I am genuinely surprised, but I did not expect you to say that whatsoever. I don't, hopefully for the video, people could see my reaction of like, what? Genuine surprise. But okay.
Surprise, surprise.
Okay. That was not an album we reviewed, by the way. Um,
Yep,
so
add it
that's
to the
good.
list.
So that's the first notch in that belt. Okay. My next one is an album that we did review and we've been up on this artist. Even though I feel like the rest of the world has become more mercurial about her. Miley Cyrus, Something Beautiful. This is number 9. Yeah. See, here's the thing. It is an 80s power pop revivalist album, right? And you'd be like, okay, why is this in your top 10 if it's a revivalist album, not really super new? The execution is sky high, execution off the charts. And I remember when we were listening to this originally, where we are just like, execution is just A1. Every song from End of the World to even songs like what was another one that's a Golden Sun, Golden Burning Sun, which I liked a lot.
Yes.
So I'm in there for the execution. Like I think somebody like Miley Cyrus has been able to. I mean, she's a full-fledged artist. I mean, she has been, but like for her to now be like steady, this is it. Like she drops an album and I'm like, it's gonna be good. I think it's gonna be good. Like, for it to graduate into that space and for it to continue to be good ever since we first reviewed her, is great. So I'm big on this. I'm big on even the song Every Girl You've Ever Loved with her and Naomi Campbell. I like that song too. So
Yes.
the power pop, 80s power pop. Her voice suits it so well that you know I'm kind of sad that she wasn't around in the 80s to make music back then because that would have been cool. Every Girl You Ever Loved. Also, I just want to say this. That sounds like a weekend, like a new weekend song. Which is
We
very
said that at
interesting.
the time. I remember that.
Did I say that? Oh,
Yeah. Well, maybe I did. Pretend You're a
yeah,
God I Like Too.
yeah.
Yeah,
Lots of good songs.
it's funny. Miley Cyrus is maybe not be album mode Hall of Fame worthy, but if there was a Hall of Very Good,
Yeah, exactly.
she would be in it. You
I
know,
agree.
album mode Hall of Very Good. I like that you had that one on there. I think I'm probably that person who's like the retro doesn't work for me in this place for my side. It is executed well, but
Hmm.
I'm not running back to it as much. My number nine, I know some people have this album as the number one album of the year. Now I couldn't get there with them, but I've seen this album number one on some lists out there. Okay, and you
Okay.
know who you are. But this one was one I almost didn't even consider at first. And then I kind of stumbled back upon it, and I said, "Wait, I have all these songs saved." I listened to it again, and it was banging. I said, "Sorry, Adriel, get your life together." Number nine for me, Freddie Gibbs, Alfredo 2. I'm
Oh.
not the biggest Freddie Gibbs fan. You know, that's not he's not my type of rap. I'm not one of those people. You know who you are,
Hmm.
but this album is very good, and there's no question about it. The production is great, the rapping is great. You see some moments on here where he clearly challenges himself as a lyricist, and has he has these topics on these songs where it's like the gangster version of introspection. You know what I mean? It's like, no, I will still kill you, but I'm thinking about it,
Hmm.
okay? Like I still have to think about it a little bit.
Yeah, to ponder.
So this one to me, I think is a really good project. This is a project I feel like is a matter of taste. You know, you kind of tell what kind of hip hop fan someone is where they have this album ranked. And I feel like this is one where if you have this in your top five, your top two,
Hmm.
I'm not mad at it. Not either of those for me, but I still thought it was a great album. That's Freddie Gibbs, Alfredo too.
Wow, I feel like you called me out a little bit there by saying, you know, what type of hip hop fan you are if you have this on your list. It did not make my list, ladies and gentlemen. I hate to break that to you. Hate to
Uh,
break that to you.
Not surprised.
But but you know what? I will say Alfredo 2, very good. I did like Alfredo 2. A couple of the songs, or more than a couple, made the Yacht Rap playlist. And that, to make
Hmm.
make it onto any of my playlists, that is a sign of respect. And I think that the album's is cool. It's cool. Like it's cool. Like I like it. It wasn't anything super special to me, but I
It's not
liked
Miley
it.
Cyrus or anything.
No, not even close. Okay. So my next one, I kind of telegraphed this. I telegraphed this a little bit when we did our um artists to look out for, but then you kind of push back on me including them. But I'm including them now. Okay, Lou, with Choke Enough. Okay, this album is probably the most unorthodox album on my list, just because very ethereal. The lyrics very ethereal, very whisper singy. It's very just calm, very empty almost. Like if you listen to the songs, you kind of like waiting for the production to come in, but sometimes it's just like one synth, or we're just gonna make it's very ambient. I think that's the best way to
Yeah,
very ambient.
it's almost like a demo.
Kind of, yeah.
Ambient, yeah, an ambient demo. Like
Yeah.
this is,
I
yeah.
know you're saying demo in a bad way, but I'm saying it in a good way.
No, 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 no. I said I'm not mad at this. I'm not mad at this being here. I think it kind of balances you out. You know what I'm saying? You have your Playboy Cardi Yeet side of you,
Mhm.
it's ready to bounce off the walls. And then you got your OK Lou side of you that's a little more calm. You know,
Yeah.
balance.
Yeah,
Balance.
I'm big on ICT. That track is like it's got like the nice horns in the background, and then again it's very ambient, and then the auto-tune vocals are making it just like it's a odd combo. Like it's kind of hard to describe, and like, even preparing for this, it was like you just kind of have to listen to it a little bit. There's electronic like dance parts, like Harvest Sky, where I think it's featuring underscores,
Hmm.
where that is more of a dance track in the lane of trance music. like ethereal, like yeah, trance music. So it's interesting. It's super interesting. Like super interesting for me when I listen to it, and that earned it a spot on this list. I like a lot of the songs. And a song like Harvest Sky, that could have been like a Nightcore remix on YouTube in like 2008 or something like that. So definitely hearkening to a different time of music.
Oh
I
my
just
God,
yeah.
100%.
So I think that this is just a cool album, cool,
Yeah,
interesting
if you
album.
know about that time, get in the comments.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
if
is
you know what time Demar's talking about, like make yourself known because I think that was for like 7 people listening to this.
yeah.
So big shout out to them.
But I'm right
Um,
though.
Here's the thing. No, no,
Singer from
that's what I'm
France,
saying.
by the
If you
way.
know the time you're talking about, um, I think this is a podcast where you got to make some notes. If you're listening to this, we're
Hmm.
only at number 8. Get out your note app on your phone, okay? Even if you have an Android, okay, we include everybody here. Get that
Very
notes app
inclusive.
out. Save all these albums, okay? Because I'm sure you're hearing albums that you did not know existed from artists you did not know existed. Next one for me, this is an album that when it came out, it was being played a lot. Like it was just one of those on repeat for me. Another album that we did not review. So
Hmm.
clearly, if there's an award for that, I'm
Yeah.
taking the MVP. Um, this one is Venna Malik. Um, this album, I didn't even really know that this was dropping. It kind of just snuck up on me. I remember at the time there was someone who was like, "Are you excited for the new Venna album?" And I was like, "Did not know
Who's
this was
Venna?
happening." Um,
Oh, I do have a
oh
like
no,
song by Venna.
let's not go that far. I know we know who Venna is. If you don't know who Venna is, get your life together, please. Um, but this is probably the album where he's had the most features. I would call him kind of like a R&B soul jazz type of vibe.
Hmm.
If you know who Yusuf Days is, he works with Yusuf Days a lot. He's a saxophone player,
Yeah.
so none of his actual lyrics on this project.
He has a
But this
song
was a
with
project where
Nux.
he has several songs with Knox.
Yeah, I remember Standard.
Um,
Standard. I like that song a lot.
yeah, yeah, him and Knox work a lot. But this is the first album he's had where he's had this many features, from
Hmm.
what I can remember. Georgia Smith is on it. Mike is on this one. Smino, Leon Thomas. So if you know any of those names, listen to this project. This one could have been higher for me. But I got a lot of love for the rest of these projects on this list. So number 8, Venna with Malik.
Yeah, that song with Smino. That's a fun one. That reminds me of like earlier days of Smino, like Black Swan Suino. Good times. That's 2017, by the way. That shit was almost 10 years ago. Holy fuck. Okay. Okay. So next, mine. This one is also another one we didn't review, which I actually did want to review, and I think I texted you about it, but we had somebody else who was in the same window, and we didn't end up reviewing it. But this next artist, and she's been in my top 10 2 years ago, I think, with Fountain Baby. This time, Black Star. Amaray. This, she also has a song with Naomi Campbell. Naomi, when are you just dropping your own solo album again, bro? When's the second one coming out? But I don't know. This is an album. When I made my list, I looked at other people's lists afterwards just to see what everybody else is doing. This shit didn't even make most people's. And I remember listening to it and I was like going like this in the car. I'm like, let's go. You know what I mean? Kiss Me Through the Phone with Pink Panthers, obviously. Also, Thong Song sample. Thong Song.
Obviously.
Let me say something about Thong Song real quick. One of the most underrated songs of all time, I think. We do not
Is it
recognize the
is it
brilliance.
underrated? Like,
I think it's
I
no,
don't think it's underrated at all.
I
I
think
don't think
it's
it's underrated at
underrated
all.
in the sense of its actual existence of an excellently crafted song.
I don't
Like,
think it's underrated at
I
all. I
think
think
it
people
is.
know it's an amazing song.
I think people are just like,
Who doesn't know that it's an amazing song?
no, no, no. See, you're thinking like, oh yeah, it's a cool song. Like, actually, if you look at how it's written, like this is actually crazily written. But anyways, Kiss Me Through the Phone Part 2 with Pink Panthers. Amazing. Great sample. They deconstruct the sample and it sounds really good. Obviously, I'm already singing. Incredible. I like the baby voice. It's kind of like a female Playboy Cardi. Um,
Okay.
yeah. So that fine shit with the horns, it's basically a big room house track as well. So I'm into that as well. I like a lot of what's happening here, and I remember driving in the car, listening to this. I'm like, yo, let's do this. And the same thing was happening with Fountain Baby. Anytime I listen to this album, I want to dance. Like, let's get to it, you know. So number 7 for me, Emma Ray, Black Star.
Yeah, I feel like Amaray is good for a good album.
Yeah,
Like I that's someone I trust. Like when they're
me
putting an
too.
album out, I'm like, I trust this is gonna be good. They didn't make my top 10,
See,
but I'm with you on this. I trust them putting out a good project. This next album I have is one that was just this is maybe one of my replay champions of the year. And I'm surprised that none of these artists were in my top five artists on Spotify Raps. This album wasn't in my top five albums on Spotify Raps, but this album I listened to more than someone's listened to an album. Okay.
Mhm.
But I was here for the vibes. Okay. The good vibrations. That's Larry June, Two Chains, Alchemist, Life is Beautiful. Um, a lot of people say that Larry June's music can sound similar at
Yeah,
certain points. Now, I reject that notion. I think that's maybe for the untrained ear. Um, but this is the album I would suggest to anyone. This came out in February. It was snowing out, but this gave me like vibes. I said, yes, I can't, there's nothing warm going on outside, but I feel warm inside.
hmm
Okay. So this is the one for me. This album wasn't no skips. We did we review this album? I can't remember.
I don't think so.
I don't think we reviewed this one. But
We reviewed the Wiz Khalifa album. I remember that, but not
oh
this one.
yes, yes. This album's a no skips for me. Two of my favorite songs is Munyon Canyon, um, and then Bad Choices as well. But there's good stuff all over this project. This is like the kind of Two Chains I hadn't heard before.
Yeah,
We know Two Chains is versatile; he can rap on anything. But this was a real flex of that versatility of him saying, "Listen, I could do whatever you need me to do. Whatever the song sounds like, throw me on it. I can make it work." So Life is Beautiful, one of my favorite projects of the year. My favorite Larry June project for sure. And big shout out to Alchemist for doing this thing.
yeah. I think this would be a little bit of a comeback for Two Chains for me. The past couple of albums of Two Chains is well, I wasn't very impressed, but this is one album that I liked. Many songs. This is a breeding ground for yacht rap music. Life is Beautiful, the song. Epiphany. I
Mm-hmm.
Bean. I
I
Bean
mean, it's
is
good.
I love I Bean, bro. So there's a lot of good tracks on this. I am a Larry June appreciator, but not lover. I think he's cool. I like his ad libs.
Hey, 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 hey.
That one's unique. That's a funny one. So I like his music. Didn't make my top 10, but I'm seeing the value. Because he did make playlists. My Yacht Rap playlist, he is on it. Okay. So now we're touching number 6. Number 6. So this might be earlier than yours. But I'm gonna be honest with you, my top 5 was pretty tight. Couldn't It was hard to jump in there. Okay. So number 6, Clips. Let God sort them out. Okay.
Someone just punched the air when they heard you say that.
Well, first of all, this is probably the highest a Pusha T album has ever appeared on anything that I've ever done. So let's just get that clear. Okay? I don't want to say I'm doing him a favor, but I want to say he got in there. And that is something that was, if you've been listening to this podcast since inception, you would not be thinking that Pusha T would be getting in anywhere like this. Okay? So I'm a big let God sort him out. Really, really big on it. I think when we were first reviewing it, I did which is the acronym EBITTD, whatever the fuck the E acronym is. I was big
Yes.
on that track just because really interesting production style. The rapping is probably the best this year. Just like strictly people the bars. Malice outdoing Pusha T on the album. which is incredible to say considering he was basically on hiatus for like 25 years. So, for him to come back and be like, actually, I'm just gonna flex on everybody else here, that's incredible to me. So a lot, and also the rollout for this album was A1. I don't think there's anybody who had a better rollout on this. So I like this album a lot. Number six, over Tyler the Creator, over Miley Cyrus.
Oh, yeah, that is probably one of the People's Choice albums.
Uh-huh.
Um, that's probably the one the internet loved the most at the time, and even still now. I just love to see an album like that get that kind of love. So I'm not mad at you having that at number six.
Hmm.
At my number six, I have another album that we did not review. Maybe we're doing something wrong
I
because
know.
this is now four of my five that we did not review. Okay, this one, um, you know, had a friend at the time who was like, on your drive home, listen to this. You gotta listen. I listened to her on the drive here, listen on the drive home, and I actually was with you on the day I listened to this album.
Oh.
We were at an event, and we were having a huge talk with several other journalists about Taylor Swift, and is a good song, a catchy song, the same thing? If you remember
Oh, I
that day.
remember this conversation.
And I drove home listening to this album, and I was like, that old friend of mine was right. This one is Destin Conrad, Love on Digital. This is one of the no skips of no skips of this year. Um, this one, I don't know what we did in place of this album. I feel like this one should have got a review
Hmm.
because we've never reviewed Destin Conrad before. But yeah, this album had basically everything you need in it. It's short enough that you can run it back over and over again. Um, Again, if you have not heard this album or just don't know Destin Conrad, tap in. Okay, go into your Spotify or Apple Music, save this project because this project is amazing. This one to me was the first album that I kind of was torn up for of like, could this be higher? Now,
Okay.
everything I have higher on this list, I think just is a little more dynamic and, content wise gives me a little more. I think the content of this project is just more again fun, carefree, not as much like introspection and things like that. So that's what made this number six and not higher because the rest of the albums I have do have, that depth lyrically. But this is as good as the album can be with having that depth lyrically. It's like this like as good as the album can be in that lane. So number six for me, Destin Conrad, uh, Love on Digital, great project.
Yeah, I remember you mentioning this to me at that time, and I actually did go back and listen to it when I went home. I thought it was good. There's a couple of songs I really like. I like the song with Lil Nas X, PBS. That song's really
Yeah,
good.
yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
um, Lil Nas X, come back to us, bro. Sane. Like when you're on your when you're on your when you're on your P's and Q's. I miss Lil Nas X genuinely. Okay. My next album here. This see now we're in the section because we're in top five. So and I would say even top six is where this is the section where everybody across people across the internet, across the world, across the genres have these as their number ones. For example, the Clips album,
Mhm.
that is definitely number one on somebody's list. I can guarantee it. Okay. Number five for me. We reviewed this back at the beginning of the year when we were both in the same room, lived in cities that were near each other.
Yes.
Bad Bunny, Debitera Mas Fotos. Okay.
Oh
This
yes.
is, I'm going to say this now, probably going to be a classic album. Um,
It is. I think it
yeah.
is like already.
Yeah, his immense influence in the fact that he released a fully Spanish album and everybody listened to it, like everyone. And for him to have the second last song, which is DTMF, which is the same thing as the title of the album, and for the emotionality of a song like that, spoke again, sung in only one language, only in Spanish, to impact people across different languages just off of either just hearing it or reading the lyrics as he's singing it is like that's something, where people talk about like music transcends language. That's one of those songs. He has one of those songs, right? And I remember even listening to it and like tearing up and be like, man, this is really hitting me, right? So I think this album is one of the best this year, and it's like without a question. To be honest with you, five is it could be higher. It
Five is
on
low.
Yeah, five
Five
is kind
five
of
is
low,
low.
but I got others that are just in there with a bullet. And I mean, I can name literally every song on this album is one of the best songs. I think Perfumito, Perfumito Nuevo is one of my favorites. Just like reggaeton that's also combined with electronic music is in a really fun way. So lots of great stuff. Um, the lyrics, if you just read the lyrics along to the album, uh, see how heartfelt his music is. How he's just like calling back to his home country. It's actually amazing, man. This is probably like again, it's one of the best albums of the year, genuinely. And it probably will
This
probably end
might
up
be his best album.
yeah, and it probably I feel like I'm not even oversaying. I'm like I think this might be one of the best albums of the decade. Like I really do. I think it's so good.
Yeah, this is the album I actually didn't have on my list because I had thought this album came out in December of
Me
2024. And
too.
now when I opened up, I said, oh, in my mind, I just had it in my mind. I said, I remember thinking to myself, if this album would come out in January, this would be in the top 10. You know,
It came out
horrible
January
on
5th.
my part. This, January 5th, right at the top of the year, our first review of the year.
Hmm.
This would have been my number two album if I had, had my life together and hadn't put it on my list. But I agree with you. One of the best albums of the decade. To me, it's Bad Bunny's best album. So yeah, this album is absolutely incredible. This album to me is a true no skips.
Yeah.
Maybe the longest album we have that's a no skips, an hour plus. So yeah, five is low. I agree with you. Five is low. If I had my life together, this would have been number two on my list. But it's not even on my list. I apologize, Bad Bunny fans. In the comments, if you want to get at me, I give you permission. Okay,
There
make
you
sure you
go.
subscribe if you're gonna do that. If you're gonna do that, subscribe. But please, I deserve it. Okay. This somehow felt like December. I said this came out in December. Doesn't make the list, but it was literally right at the top of the year.
Yeah,
So amazing, amazing album.
I'm gonna be honest with you. When I was making my list, I was like, didn't that come out last year? I definitely thought it came out last year, but that's what happens when you drop something January 5th, literally at the top of the year. People, I don't want to say forgot about it because its impact was huge when it came out, but it definitely was like, didn't that come out last year? It's like kind of like when I saw the Nishiyama meme. Remember that dance of I think they were Japanese
Yeah,
guys?
yeah.
That happened this year. That was like in February.
That I remember. That I remember. But yeah, that's a big drop for me. I apologize. Now, getting into my top five, I don't know if everyone has the rest of my five at the top of their list, but this is my list. This is Adriel's list, okay? And if you
Mhm.
care about anything that I have to say, make sure you go check these albums out. Go back, listen again. This next one, number five, I liked it a lot in the moment. It grew on me the more that I listened. And this album has a lot of themes on it that, from a lyrical standpoint, one of the best albums of the year. Listen lyrically, what's being said on this project. My number five, Chance the Rapper, Starline.
Ah,
This is an album that I think people who listened to it were like, "Oh, he's really doing something here." I think there wasn't as much buzz after the album came out. It's one of those in 2025 where it's hot for like 7 days, and then after that, we kind of forget about it. But this album, just if you take in what he's saying, the wordplay, the lyricism, one of the best rap albums we've heard in a very long time. I could have switched my four and my five, and we'll get to that in a second, but this was the number five for me. Chance the Rapper, Starline.
yeah, this was on my honorable mentions, I'm not gonna lie. And I remember when we reviewed it, we are like, this person, Chance the Rapper, probably comeback artist of the year. And I
For
still kind of feel that
sure.
way.
Mhm.
because I was surprised by how good this album was. Ton of features on this album. If you really look at it, like almost every song has a feature or two on it, and he still stuck out. Rapping still very good. Uh, I feel like the heat on Chance the Rapper has been turned down, obviously, but that doesn't stop you from making good music, and that's what he did. And I think that I'm looking forward to the next project. If he's
I
is
think Chance, he's in that group with Gunna of the artists who, if you make good music, some of your problems gonna go away.
Yeah,
Like if you put
facts.
some good music out, it might fix the other stuff. So I like what you said. Comeback artist of the year for sure.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to the next project because I've said this so many times before, there's no problem with good music. There's no problem. And everybody knows who Chance the Rapper is. So he really just needs lightning to hit him one more time. And that can happen. People get hit by lightning multiple times in their life. So it could happen again. And if the music is still good, then he's just back on. So I like this album a lot. Not in my top 10, in my honorable mentions. Okay. Now number four. So like I said, the top five was tight, hard to get in. You had to hit me with a hammer basically to get into the top five. And this is my number four. This artist I have been tracking since before she even released a project. That lady from England, Pink Pantheress. Fancy that. One of my favorite albums this year, obviously, but just like the it felt like I was in a video game, like a racing video game. The song like Illegal was like that's in Gran Turismo, bro. Like this album in particular inspired me to make a playlist for racing games. Like I have like maybe four or five of the songs on this album in that playlist. I'm like, I just want to make a playlist for if I'm somehow in a position in my life where somebody's like, we need you to soundtrack a video game, a racing video game. I'd be like, I got you.
You're ready.
Like there's a new SSX that comes out, a new Need for Speed that comes out. I'd be like, bro, I've been waiting for this moment, by the way. Um, yeah, Illegal. What was it? Tonight's also a fun song. I think that's a little underrated, but great again. It's like another racing track. Like it feels like I'm in Gran Turismo, bro. Like I don't know how else to describe it other than it feels like you're in a racing game when you listen to her music, which is something that I would not have described as her musical style in the past. But this pace, she's almost kind of stepping away from drum and bass a little bit and going more into a house direction. I like it a lot. So top four, number four.
This is where I think our Spotify ages come into play. Um, because I don't play video games. I've never been a gamer, and that's not my
Hmm.
style. But I think when you say sounds like a racing game, that sounds like a compliment to you. Someone else heard that and was like, I don't want to hear that shit. So this is where the age comes in, and it reminds me of on Yeat's last album.
Hmm.
Not the last one, but the one last year
Yeah.
that you said sounds like a video game too. And I was like, I've heard people use that same phrase talking shit about someone's music. So it's just very funny that you're saying this as a compliment, and I've heard people say this as like, sounds like a fucking video game.
Yeah.
So very, very different taste. And you guys could both be right.
Yeah. Let me
But some people
respond to
want to hear
that.
that video game stuff, some people don't.
Let me respond to that real quick. There is a song by Wiz Khalifa that samples Sonic the Hedgehog. Like this
Yep.
is Michael
Yeah.
Jackson, was making video game soundtracks in the 80s. Like this is not to say something is sounds like a video game to me is not an insult because great music comes out of video games and great artists make music for video games, right? So if I'm like, hey, this evokes uh uh a mental image of a video game, the fact that her music can evoke a mental image of another form of media is something that 9 out of 10 people on our list cannot do. So that is where I am with that.
I want someone to love me the way Demar loves Pink Panthers. Okay. One day I hope that love finds me.
She's an amazing artist.
Um my number four, This might again play into our difference in age. Okay, the age gap we have. But this album, I was surprised by how good it is. Now, this artist always puts out good projects. They have been an album artist their whole career, but I wasn't the only one surprised. The internet kind of spoke out and was really loving this project. That's Wale. Everything is a lot. Some people say this is his best album, and if you know Wale's discography, that is enormous praise. In a year where some older artists are putting out, it seems like their best projects. Wale followed suit as well. I call this album kind of the best of Wale because he did all the things he's really good at. He had that kind of the hype tracks that he's really good at doing. He brings out the best R&B features as well,
Mhm.
and he's kind of the best at getting in his feelings too. You know, if you want a song that matches getting in your feelings, Wale is the cream of the crop of that as a rapper. So this was an easy choice of being on my list. I think can we get into the top five? These albums all have some depth lyrically and some range lyrically that I think the other albums in the bottom of my five do not, kind of other than Lily Allen West End Girl. But this is one of those ones where he touches on a bunch of different topics, gets very open about his life on this project. And that's something I value in an album. So Wale, Everything is a Lot. That's my number four.
You know what? I was looking. I appreciate your adoration for Wale. I was looking at Reddit right just as we were recording, and the top comment on this album on Hip Hop Heads, the subreddit, all the 35-year-old hoes gonna love this. And I can I cannot I cannot shout out to user throwaway 23 underscore SOS because I cannot encapsulate it better than that. This is where Adriel and I talk about multiple things where I say I think I'm just culturally younger than you. And then the idea of the Spotify listening age. My number four is Pink Panthers. His number four is Wale. And I think that's just where it is, you know. Even though we are the exact same age. Okay. Do you have anything more to say about Wale before I move on to number three here?
No, no.
Okay. I love you, Wale. Not as much as Drake and Kendrick, but I got love for you. Number three. This artist, another one from England, another lady from England. I'm just gonna keep it short and sweet. The little lady from England, Little Sims. Just literally one of the gods on the mic. I'm saying that. And I think during our review, I also said one of the greatest rappers of all time. And it's
You did
not
say
even
that.
not really a question. It's really more of a do you know who she is? Because if you do, you would be in the same you would have the same opinion as me. If you don't know who she is, then you wouldn't consider her. But Little Sims basically took everything that she has been doing and just wrapped it in a tighter bow for Lotus. Songs like Flood, I really like where it's more like tribalistic, you know, like these really dark drums. The imagery is all black, gray, dark gray. And there's like on the album cover, there's like this one stripe of pink. So I just like the darkness that she was sowing or the darkness that she was wading through, but then she also has a song like Free where she allows the production to jump out and be part of the lyrics and it's a very carefree sounding song. Like this is a master at work, you know, like and it's a master, it's like I'm trying to think of it. It's like she's like Moses Malone, like one of the best people ever. And like if you ask somebody today, be like, how many who was the best player on the 76ers championship team? They'd be like, when did the 76ers win the championship? That's basically that's basically who she is. She's like Moses Malone to me. Incredible artist, just incredible. Master at work, has every single flow, every single rhyme, like everything. And she dropped this album. The only thing that I will say about it doesn't have the bombastic track I Need to Show You that I like to mention for a lot of artists, especially when we're talking about like artists that this good. But the full package, like you could just select a song and be like, "Oh, that's amazing," and then just let it run through. But there isn't like, with Pink Panthers, I could be like, yeah, just play illegal. Just play illegal and you'll be in. But every single thing else she has got. I mean, I don't, there's not, it's hard to express how much adoration I have for Little Sims and her music and Lotus. This is an incredible album.
The next two I have on my list you've actually mentioned already, so I'm gonna
Ooh.
be pretty quick. Number three is Clips, Let God Sort Them Out.
Okay.
Um, I think this album has been loved a lot, and it's become the internet's favorite album. But I think the actual sonics of this project more than that. Like this is a rare time when the internet got it right. So number three, Clips, Let God Sort Them Out, and my number two, Lil Sims,
Oh,
Lotus.
wow.
This was the easiest of all the choices on my list.
Okay.
This was automatic, absolutely no skips. I thought this is her best album to me. You said I had my best take ever in this review.
Oh,
So
did I?
big shout out to me and big shout out to you for showing me love. Um, but basically how I described it was this is not even a rap album.
Oh,
All the
yes.
production on here is not even rap. She's just rapping on it.
Yes.
Um, and I think Lil Sims to me is who a lot of people think their favorite rapper is. You know, whether it's Kendrick Lamar or
Ooh.
JID, whoever you think is like that, Lil Sims is actually like that.
Yeah.
So if you haven't heard Lil Sims, go and check it out. I actually told someone about Lil Sims. I was at a barbecue and we had maybe a 45-minute Drake versus Kendrick conversation. It was beautiful. Okay, beautiful. I was schooling people left, right, and center.
Hmm.
And after the conversation was done, me and this guy got to talking a little bit, and he was like, "Yeah, like I want to hear your podcast now. You seem like you know a lot of stuff." And I said, "Before you listen to that, check out Little Sims. I could
Hmm.
tell that you haven't heard it yet. Go and listen." And this guy DM'd me months after the fact to tell me how good the album was. That's how you know this album is good. So if you want to listen to any album on this list, Lil Sims, Lotus is the one. Now we're here close to number one. You're at number two, correct?
Yes. I'm about to do number two.
And I'm close to number one. I think we may have some similarities coming up on this list, but I want to hear your number two.
Okay. Number two, a perennial number two on my list, somehow has
Perennial
never
number two is
captured the number one
crazy.
spot, even though he is my favorite artist ever. The Weeknd with Hurry Up Tomorrow. The expansion in The Weeknd's artistry is unlike, I can't really, I don't know who else. Like, I just can't even think of another artist that has gone from such a dark, moody space to this expansive, just like it's almost like a DJ set is what you said in the review, and I still agree, where it's like a DJ set where he sings, like he has a song that is literally like Thriller at the top, but then he's doing stuff like Brazilian funk, electronic music. It's sometimes it's noise, sometimes it's R&B, like song like Niagara Falls. The fact that a song like Niagara Falls exists on this album, where it is the closest to the older version of The Weeknd, and for it to also exist with Cry for Me, which I think is one of his best songs ever, where it goes from electronic to pop to Brazilian funk to hip hop. Like, what the fuck, bro? Like, seriously. So I think that just like the expansive nature of this album is unbelievable. It's like I'm trying to think of, I don't, maybe like Pink Floyd or some shit like that. It's like there isn't really a comparison in R&B anymore. Like where he
It's a,
originated
it's a
from
to
to
know where
where he
he is
is
now,
now, there isn't really a comparison. Maybe Beyonce is the closest.
and it's an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Like I think that's the part you had to mention. This is an hour and a half album. Like that is something very very important. Um, this was my number one, so I want
Okay.
to hear your number one. This was my number one album. Um, this album is so good. Like again, 22 songs. Now it's crazy because this album is like a technically no skips for me, but not all the way no skips. There's a couple songs that I don't love on here, but there's a section on this album from 8 to 18 that I have all liked.
Yeah.
Like 10 straight songs, all liked. And it's like a movie going through this. And there is the movie which I saw. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but I saw it early and I remember texting Demar being like, Your boy isn't killing it with this one. Not a
Mm,
great film, but a great album. And it's so interesting that he apparently had the movie first and the album second. Don't know how that makes any sense here. But this was my number one. So
okay.
before Demar gets to his number one, everyone hop in the comments. Your number one album of the year. Before Demar names his in the comments, let us know what you think. Of course, you can comment on Spotify now too. So on Spotify, in the comments, what is your number one album of the year?
Okay. My number one, I feel like it's gonna be a little bit controversial,
You
but
don't say.
I'm unafraid to say it. Rebel by SD Kid. I genuinely think this is the best shit that came out this year. And I can't stop listening to it. I listen to this album every day. Every single day I listen to this album. 11 songs, 20 minutes. I probably listen to it 2 or 3 times per day.
No one is perfect. Everybody has their flaws, okay? Everyone has their things.
I just think that, you know, the Scouse accent combined with the fact that he's actually really rapping on this album. Um, the he's like a we were talking about him just like just speaking about him where it's like he's a grittier version of Lil Uzi Vert from Liverpool. That is a very unusual combination of things.
Mhm.
And songs like Panic, I'm gonna be honest with you, Rottweiler, that shit is that's my everything, bro.
Rottweiler is up there.
That
Rottweiler is
song,
up there.
yeah, that song is my everything. I love that track. I love the hook. I love the production. The production that is that. Does that sound like a bagpipe to you? Like maybe like a distorted and like elongated bagpipe. I don't know what instrument that is, but I'm in love with it. Tartan, the the ascension feeling that you get when you listen to Tartan, and then they drop the rest of the 808s and the drums. I just love this album. Like I'm in love with this album,
So,
man.
so you're telling me you think this album is actually better than Hurry Up Tomorrow? Because I
I
think you're more fascinated by this album, but do you really think it's a better album? Those are two different things. I think you have a fascination with this
Right.
project, but better is, like,
Here's the thing. I recognize the craftsmanship of the weekend, obviously. I don't know how obvious that has to be, but there is something about like a person who like the weekend is kind of like a monster, a monster has, he grabs you, crushes you, destroys all the buildings and all that type of stuff. SD Kid with Rebel is like an assassin. It's like 8 songs. I'm just coming through your neighborhood. I kill one dude. Nobody even knew I was there, And that's what I think about this album, where it's just 8 songs, sorry, 11 songs, 20 minutes versus the weekend's like 25 songs, hour and a half. But this is just like, I don't know. It's a smash and grab, and I know I just described two different things, like a smash and grab and assassin, but it's really just like come and thief in the night, fuck up everything, and then leave. And you're just like, what the fuck just happened? You know what I mean? Like, four raws and like dirty, like, yo, this is stuff that this reminds me of listening to Future like for the first time. This is what it feels like to me.
No, and I think too, this is one of those where I can't agree with you that it's better, but I think it can be more fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
The weekend is never going to give you that feeling again.
Yeah.
Like you're well familiar with the weekend. This is a feeling, and this feeling took him to number one. So big shout to SD Kid. We cannot take that for granted. Like no, it's true. Like music giving you a feeling is something that you can't describe. You can't underestimate that. That's kind of what music is here for. So this feeling taking them to number one, I'm absolutely here for it. Quickly before we get out of here, I'm gonna rattle off my honorable mentions.
Okay, me
Okay,
too.
I had a bunch of them. I'm sure some that you don't have. But these are just some that I also considered that maybe didn't make it far. Okay, both J Electronica albums. Okay, they're both too short to include, but I thought about including both of them. The Last Dinner Party,
Mm-hmm.
their project, just not quite up to snuff for this one. Their last album I think was number one and two on our list, or we both had
Yeah.
it number two, I think.
I think I had it number one.
So I think you had something else number one because I had it. We think we both had number two. Maybe you
Okay.
had number one, one or two.
One or two. Yeah.
Um, I had Odile as my honorable mentions. His project has been growing on me the last few weeks. Justin Bieber, Swag one and two. Neither of them made it, but I
Oh,
thought about it. I thought
wow.
about
Oh,
it.
wow. Hold on a second. Wait. I'm surprised by that because I remember you were talking about, I think on our previous episode, you were talking about Justin Bieber and Swag. And then I remember
Hmm
when the album came out, you were a little bit higher than I expected you to be on it. So I was like, I think this is
I
gonna
did
make it
like
on the
it.
list.
I still like it. Like I still like both those parts. I think Swag 2 is actually very underrated.
Hmm.
Swag 2 has some gems on there as well, but didn't make the actual list. Salt 10. The fact that Salt hasn't really made a list proper, haven't lived in a Salt review proper yet, is almost a crime. Whatever Salt drops next, I might just go solo off the grid.
Yeah,
Like
go for it.
whatever Salt drops next, I'm gonna have to review it. And then the last two, Blood Orange. This album kind of came out low key, like wasn't really talked about. We had been waiting for a new album from him for a while, so he was on my list. And then K1 with her project. That was in my 10 spot for a while until Lily Allen, stepped through the door.
Oof.
But those are my. I know the internet's not kind of like that. Taking out K1 for Lily Allen, that's a whole different demographic right there. But those are my honorable mentions. What do you got?
Okay, so for my honorable mentions, it's a little bit tighter than yours. I am a man who appreciates Olivia Dean. I'm sorry about that.
Oh
Arrest
my
me.
goodness.
Arrest me.
I forgot about Olivia Dean
Look at
too.
you.
Oh my
This guy, I
goodness.
just want everybody to recognize Olivia Dean not even mentioned by Adriel. Bad Bunny not even on the list, not even a consideration. And he's just trying to come at me for having SD Kid for number one.
No, Olivia Dean would have been on my top 10.
Ooh.
That was my fault. You know what it is? Here's my issue. I need to probably do a better job, and this will be in my New Year's resolutions for 2026 of keeping track of when things come out. Olivia Dean has just been around for me. There was not this big album drop. I was just like, new Olivia Dean music? All right, I just save it, listen to it. It didn't really clock as like a new album. So that's my
Mm.
fault. Olivia Dean, we love you. I
Wow.
apologize.
Wow.
You deserve to be on this list.
So she was in my honorable mentions. What else do I have here? I have Doja Cat, Vi. I was higher on that than most people. I remain high on
Yeah,
it.
yeah, we were both high on it, and since we put out our review, I've heard a lot of people trash that album. They're on the wrong side of history.
Yeah, I
That
agree.
Doja Cat is one of the goats. Like Doja Cat's up there with Lil Sims more than a lot of people think. Like Lil Sims is still up there, but Doja Cat is right
Yeah.
underneath.
Top 50. Top 50.
Top 50
Okay.
Dojas,
Doja Cat
top 50
top 50.
cats.
Doja Cat top 50. Okay, I also have FK Twigs Oh Sexua. I think is how you pronounce
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I
Bisexual,
like that
yeah.
album a lot. And I think that came out in the same week Doja Cat came out. And we did the Doja Cat review instead. But
I think it
I
was
think it
something
was.
else. No,
I
because
think
we did a poll. Doja Cat wasn't on the poll.
okay.
It was
But regard
Wale lost the poll. Summer
yeah.
Walker won the poll.
Oh, okay. What a shame what that was. Shout out to Summer Walker, but not on the level, respectfully.
In the hands of the fans, as they say on Survivor. In the hands of the fans.
Okay, and then those were the top three honorable mentions. Those were like threatening to break in. And then my
Hmm
other three, just on here on the back end, Caliucci, sincerely. My girl Caliucci is just dropping heat consistently.
hmm
And she still makes my top five most listened artists, even though she's surrounded by Yeet, Playboy Cardi, Drake, and an unknown fifth person I can't remember. But she is still in there. Then my next one, Central C, Can't Rush Greatness. I like that album. I don't know why I'm the only person on earth that likes it, but I do. And also introduced me to Young Miko. So I can give Sanch a little bit of credit for that. And then my
That was a
last
good
honorable,
album. You're not crazy for that.
yeah, uh, it's fine. It's okay. I'll be over here alone with the album. That's fine. Uh,
Demar with the drama.
And then my last honorable mention, I mentioned this earlier, Chance the Rapper, Starline. I think that again, comeback artist of the year. The fact that he is dropping music in full, it's good, and we're knowing about it is a good thing. So I want to see if he can have a second act. I want that for Chance the Rapper, me personally. Because I think that that's possible, and I think he has the talent level for it. He has the collabs, he has everything. You know what I mean? So I just think that he is looking for. I don't think he is looking for it. I don't think he's looking for the next hit, but to put him back in the space where he's battling amongst the rest of hip hop, pop culture, etc. He needs one more hit, and I think that he has that in him. If not, just keep dropping good music, and I'll still rock with you. I'll be there.
Yeah, I'm excited for what Chance is gonna do next. I don't know if he needs another hit. I feel like again, he's had hits bigger than some artists had their whole career, so I don't know
Facts.
if he needs another hit. But I think he's in this lane as an artist where he's very lyrical, but not considered that lyrical guy. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Like it's very much blog rap era where you have all these guys who technically are lyrical, but they're just not viewed as lyrical. And he has again all these deep lyrics, but isn't seen as preachy. And I think that's just like with great power comes great responsibility. And the power of having all those together is something rare that you see. And he also, again, can kind of sort of sing and makes like really groovy music. So he has the ability to kind of make some great music going forward, whether he has the hair or not. So I'm very excited for it. I want to know, this is what I want to know what everyone thinks. This should be our most commented video. Because I want to know what albums everyone likes. If there's an album that we didn't mention at all, Olivia Dean fans, don't cancel me. Bad Bunny fans, don't cancel me. Okay. If there's an album that we didn't mention that you feel like we have to either listen to or talk about, put it in the comments. Let us know. Of course, subscribe to us on YouTube, Album Mode on YouTube. Hit that like button. Subscribe to us on all your podcast platforms as well. Album Mode on all your podcast platforms. Leave us a rating and a review. 5 stars, not a single star less. Album Mode Pod on all social platforms: X, TikTok, Instagram. Album Mode Pod. And until next time, know yourself, know your worth.
later days.